Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, I gotta hit the play button, don't I? Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, this one's only for the blackest of hearts. Black Hearted Ale is a 7% Black IPA from Bell's Brewery in Comstock, Michigan. Hot dog, hot diggity dog, looky here, it's Black Hearted Ale. What is Black Hearted Ale? Black Hearted Ale is the Black IPA version of Bell's stupendously popular and highly acclaimed Two Hearted IPA. Now, Bell's describes it as the latest member of their Hearted family, which I didn't even know that they actually called it the Hearted family. This was an exclusive Valentine's Day release at Bell's General Store in Kalamazoo, and I got to give a huge thanks to David Orr for sending it over my way. There was no way I was going to be able to make it over on Valentine's Day to pick this one up. So I'm really glad that he sent this one over to me. And believe me, I have been so excited to try this and bring it to you guys. I have been a little bit under the weather, and I kept having to push trying this one back. And it's one of those things where you only get one bottle. So you got to make sure you make it count, because if I slipped and dropped it, I'm not trying it. So we'll take a look at the bottle. We'll take a look at the label. We'll get it into a glass. Fun fact, the rest of Bell's Hearted family is Two-Hearted, Double Two-Hearted, and Light-Hearted. But you probably already knew that. I'll link up my comparison video between those three in the description below this video. So let's take a look at the label. As I mentioned before, this one is a really cool label. I really dig it. For being a one-off, they didn't pull any punches. They didn't half-ass it. They decided to go whole hog on this label. And what it is, it's released on Valentine's Day, so there is this heart on here. It's like this black label with a chrome picture. It's almost difficult to see, but it's a heart, like a chrome heart or a steel heart or maybe a black heart with a fish skeleton. So the two-hearted fish is just a skeleton, and this really dark red, a really cool color. The font says Black Hearted Black India Pale Ale, brewed and bottled by Bell's Brewery, incorporated in Comstock, Michigan. And then on the one side here is the government warning, the cash refund, all that stuff. I'm going to tell you now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get 10 cents when I take this back in. But anyways, on the other side it says, love isn't always handwritten notes and candy hearts. Sometimes it's a sinkhole full of skeletons and worn out platitudes, yet here you stand with your chin held high. Our latest member of the Hearted family, a Black IPA, holds no ire towards love lost. It thrives on it. Remember your ex, take a few sips, and then go back to enjoying your day. There's someone else's problem now anyways. And so this is 7% alcohol by volume, just like Two-Hearted. Shelf life is 6 months. This was packaged on February 5th, 2020. It's the beginning of March now that I'm kind of, putting this video together. And yeah, I was under the weather, so I wasn't able to bring this to you as early as I would have liked to. I think I got this about a week and a half ago from David sending it over. But hey, it's here now. What else do you want? So I'm going to grab and use my IPA glass here. Got a lot of kind of liquid in here, so I'm pretty sure this is as clean as it's going to get. So let's go ahead and crack this one open. Again, it's one of those things. You just get one bottle. You got to make sure you make it count. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Whenever I record stuff like this, right before I open something where I only have one bottle, I'm looking at all my stuff. Is everything recording? It is. All right, let's go ahead and crack this. Ooh. Nice, satisfying pop when you open that. Didn't smell anything on the cap, just in case. I've never smelled the cap. I don't know why I just did that, but I did. And the cap is just just a regular old Bell's cap. Nothing special. No. It would have been cool to see like this kind of, bronze kind of gold colored cap with a black heart on it or something. But let's go ahead and put a nose on the bottle here. Okay. It doesn't have a whole lot of telltale signs of being an IPA. I'll put it that way. I'm getting my nose right up in there. So it actually has a bit of a kind of roasted, kind of smoky, smoky malty kind of smell to it. It doesn't smell like you would think a typical IPA would smell. Let's go ahead and pour this. It's coming out pretty light out of the bottle. It looks a bit like a porter. I mean, it's thin. It's not super thick. It didn't, sometimes when you pour like a really heavy beer, you can see through the stream because obviously light passes through it. It's not like a black hole. I'm not even knowing if I'm going to be able to fit this whole thing in here, but it's got a light color to it coming out of here. It's a little bit of a caramel kind of color, a little bit darker brown than caramel, but it looked very reminiscent of caramel. And looking at this, obviously, I love this glass. Again, I made a video just telling you how much I was so saddened when the brother of this glass broke. I love these glasses. I love the amount of head that they produce. This is about 3 fingers, maybe 3.5 fingers. It's like a whole fistful of fingers, but it just really aerates that beer, lets a lot of that good stuff out of there. But this is a nice, really just textbook tan colored head. Lots of super compressed compact bubbles. The top is really nice and small. I'm just fawning all over this beer already as it is. Let's go ahead and hold it up to the light. That is dark. I mean, it's not super dark. I can see some hints of light, and I think I can actually see my shadow pass through it, especially on this kind of thinner part of the glass here. But on the top, it's pretty dark. Like, I would have to be really, really trying to find any kind of light coming through here. But up through the bottom, it does look very dark brown, a little bit crimson. Again, it looks like a light porter, maybe like a bit of a brown ale. Let's put a better nose on the glass here. Yeah, I'm getting roasty kind of malty characteristics. I'm getting a little bit of a kind of caramel kind of smell coming out of it. I do think I get a little bit of a hoppiness though, like a hoppy aroma, a hoppy kind of characteristic. I'm really deep in there. It's like a bit of a pininess to it. I'm not getting really any citrus out of the aroma. Yeah, wow. Ready to dive right in. Cheer. Oh, I love the head's it's just glistening in the light. All right, anyways, time to jump in. Cheers. That is very complex. First impression is this really smoky character, this really, really roasted malty flavor. And I love that part of it. Not to say I don't love other parts of it. Let's talk through it. But yeah, a lot of that smokiness comes through. The mouthfeel is a little bit, it's actually got a bit of a creamy mouthfeel. It's a little bit on the light side, but light and creamy. It's really light, fluffy, really creamy, a really nice, I mean, just a really nice mouthfeel. It's not, the whole beer so far has been something that I'm not really, I love black IPAs because they're so perplexing. Like they're so just different. There's something just so different about them because you see it and your mind thinks you're going to get all that juiciness. You're going to get all the hoppiness. You're going to get all those citrus kind of flavors or the grapefruit or the, citrus or the pine. But when you have a dark IPA, you're thinking that you're going to get a dark beer flavor. And that I am getting a bit of a dark beer flavor here, but I'm also getting some IPA kind of notes, some really kind of subtle IPA notes in here. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of that smoky kind of malty flavor up front, but then as you swallow it, that smokiness, that's when this hop kind of presence really pulls through. And on the tail, like on the finish and then on the aftertaste is where the hops really start to shine. Like that little bitterness really starts to poke through all that smoke, through all those kind of roasty flavors. And it's not smoky, like overpowering, but it's almost this dark fruity kind of characteristic. That's where I'm getting the kind of smokiness, that dark fruitiness. So it almost has a little bit of some elements of like a smoked porter. You're getting some of those elements in there, but you're also at the tail end is where, again, that's where that bitterness, that hoppiness comes from. And yeah, on the tail end, on that finish where the hoppiness comes through, that's where a little bit more of that traditional kind of two-hearted, there's a bit of a sweet malt that comes through, just a little bit on the tail end. And on the finish is where you get those really nice kind of traditional two-hearted kind of flavors. If you had a two-hearted, if you haven't, stop the video, go and drink a two-hearted, come back. Just try a two-hearted. If you haven't tried a two-hearted, you got to try it first and then come back. But that's when that two-hearted kind of flavor, the two-hearted body starts to come through on the aftertaste. So you're really bombarded with this smoky, roasty characteristic, borderline kind of porter qualities. And then on the tail end, on the swallow, on the finish is where a little bit of that two-heartedness kind of starts to come through. You get that sweet maltiness. You get a little bit of this kind of grapefruity, kind of pithy kind of flavor comes through. And that's also where a tiny hair of this kind of citrus intertwined with this kind of piney bitterness kind of roll in on the tail end. You get but again, you get almost a smoked porter or a porter front end, borderline kind of like a super, I don't know, a stout ultra kind of flavor. And I don't mean like super pumped up stout, but I mean like a Michelob Ultra of stouts. Like if you could think of that kind of thing, if that even makes any sense, that's where that kind of flavor comes through. But on the tail end is where a lot of that kind of two-heartedness, where the two-hearted family, the hearted family piece of this beer really comes through. I really, really hope to see that, you know, they decided that this, I don't know how well it sold. I'm sure it sold out within hours, but I really hope that Bell's reconsiders putting this out, wider distribution. This was only available in the general store, if I didn't mention that earlier, on Valentine's Day. Hopefully this is something that makes mass market kind of distribution. I know that Bell's has kind of used some of their general store stuff in the past as like a testing ground, and also you can get it on tap in their tap room next to the general store. I would really love to see this come through in, you know, wide distribution, because I don't think it's anything like anything else in their portfolio. And I think that obviously, you know, this would fly off the shelves too, because it really has a nice melding between the porter flavors and the IPA flavors. It's definitely a black IPA. It definitely is an IPA, but it has those, just enough of those smoky characteristics that really would bridge the gap between somebody that likes a porter and somebody that likes an IPA. Maybe if they didn't like, you know, if you're an IPA guy that doesn't like dark beer, or you're a porter guy that doesn't like IPAs, this would be a beer that would be right in between. And I just noticed, look at all this beautiful kind of laddering of all the head on there. Just a really great, solid, all-around beer. And Bell's, if you're watching, if anybody at Bell's pays attention to this, please, please, for the love of all that is holy, bring this beer to mass production and mass market. All right, friends, that has been Black Hearted Ale from Bell's Brewery. Were you able to get your hands on this beer? If so, what did you think? And would you be interested in more additions to the Bell's Hearted family? Do you think that they should just distribute this everywhere that Bell's is available? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about beer, mostly Michigan beer, but all types of beer, especially lately, twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And hey, it's all free for viewers just like you, and you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed and getting those notifications. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers.